So one of the things about being an amateur writer is the fact that your mind is always kind of running around in the background, thinking of different like ideas and plot hooks and characters and worlds and whatnot. And it's sort of like sometimes it's just a passive process that runs in the back of my mind. Other times it's active, it's at the forefront, and I just can't stop thinking about something that I'd like to make a story out of. And this one idea that's been just pestering me for the past couple of days, it's this like half-formed idea that I can't get out of my head. It doesn't fit into an existing story, but it's not really fleshed out enough to make its own story. So I'm just gonna talk at the camera and just sort of vomit my thoughts and see if anyone in the comment section can help me work through what to do with this character, because I've got a concept for a character and a core conflict, and that's about it. The whole story centers around a kid who, well, I say kid, he is a 20-year-old man, and he is known by everyone around him as Quiet. And that is because he is a mute. He's been mute since birth, he has never spoken a word, and on his 10th birthday, he developed insanely powerful telekinetic powers, including teleportation. Ever since then, he's used these powers to just do whatever he wants. But the thing is, he doesn't actually want anything. He kind of just wants to live, amuse himself, and mind his own business. And since all he wants to do is like mind his own business, it ends up with some interesting conflict. He's not actively trying to take over the world or be a hero, but he does still need to eat, but he's too lazy to get a job because he just doesn't care. So he'll just like walk into a supermarket, load up a cart full of stuff, and walk out the door. And there's nothing you can do about it. He's the world's most powerful telekinetic. There's nothing you can do to interfere with him. And that sort of leads into his powers, right? So like, for example, if anyone approaches him and starts talking to him or makes any sort of unpleasant motion or sound, anything he doesn't like, without moving anything, not even like snapping a finger, nothing, not even making eye contact, they'll just walk up to him, start pestering him, and then their neck will just fucking snap. He'll just snap their neck, rotate it 360 degrees around, and kill them instantly. They'll collapse, and all while he's like walking past them without making eye contact, right? So you can't really stop him because he'll just kill you. And this has been going on since he's 10 years old. So obviously the authorities have tried everything. They've tried shooting him, but he's got a telekinetic barrier around him. They've tried bombs of every variety. At one point, they even drop a nuke on him, and he captures the nuke in a telekinetic field. While it explodes, he compresses the explosion into a ball about the size of a baseball, teleports over to the White House, which authorized the explosion, and just sets the baseball-sized ball of explosive energy on the desk. Secret Service draws their weapons and fires, but it doesn't harm him. And then he just teleports away, releases the telekinetic field, and then this nuclear blast just levels the White House and the surrounding area, irradiating DC for miles around. So that's the level of power we're talking about here. Just capturing nukes in his hands. So the story, at least the first third, is kind of just focused on people interacting with him and trying not to die. Because he's a complete and total sociopath. He does not care about anybody else but himself. He will steal some groceries, but he doesn't own any property. He doesn't actually live anywhere. He just teleports to wherever he feels like being at that moment. So he'll like just teleport into random people's houses and start using their oven, or their stove, or their appliances, or steal their furniture, or whatever. And again, if you do anything he doesn't like, instant neck snapping, and there's nothing you can do about it. So anytime he just teleports into somebody's house, everybody just sort of freezes in place, stands still, and stays quiet, like he's a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex. Just like, don't move and he won't notice you. And so people constantly live in fear of his wanton, vengeance that can be triggered by almost anything. So he'll just show up at your house and just start raiding your shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's physically nothing you can do. So you just gotta sit there and watch him, or preferably just leave the room. And if he does kill someone, one of your loved ones, friends or family members, and you scream, he'll snap your neck too because he doesn't like the noise, right? And so there's a good chunk of the book's intro is just like people interacting with him and trying not to die. And like you can't even like offer him tribute or give him anything or compliment him because any interaction annoys him and instant death. So I'm trying to think, in a world where he is the only person with superpowers and he's got godlike powers and he just doesn't give a shit, and over the course of like 10 years no one can get him to speak, no one can get him to interact, no one can get him to stop killing people, no one can figure out what to do other than just let him do whatever he wants. And there's even like an insurance company that like covers, you can insure yourself against the damages to life and property that he may cause. You can just buy insurance against Quiet, the sort of pseudo protagonist, Quiet insurance. It's just right up there with your life insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance. Oh, you got Quiet insurance. This is just a thing that people have because how much a fucking problem he is. So I'm like, okay, the part that I'm stuck at is it's like, okay, his motivation is just to be left the fuck alone, right? He has no motives whatsoever. That's the entire crux of his character, is that he'll just teleport to wherever he wants, do whatever he wants, watch TV, play video games, fucking whatever he wants to do. And he's generally, when he is occupied, perfectly docile person that doesn't cause any problems so long as he's left alone. But obviously he's causing problems just by existing. After 10 years of not being able to do anything, what would people do? Like after realizing that, hey, maybe just having insurance, Quiet insurance isn't the best solution to this dude who's just being a fucking problem. What do we do? And that's where I'm stuck at. Because, I think it's an interesting concept, but I have no idea where to go with it. What do you do against someone like that with near godlike power and just doesn't want to interact with him, but you've got to get him to change his behavior or die? What would you do? If you were the author in my shoes and you had this character, or maybe this is like episode 1 of like an anime or TV show or whatever, where would you assume the show would go next? Because honestly, I'm stumped. I feel like I've created a plot with no core conflict. Because like the only real solution is just leave him alone, but that you can't really leave him alone, but you kind of can. It's a work in progress, but it keeps nagging at me, and I keep thinking about it in the back of my mind. But all I can come up with are other situations where he would just teleport in, be a problem, and then leave. You can't just have a story, just a collection of dude is a problem and there's nothing you can do. That's not an interesting story. So I don't know. I'm stumped. That's all I got. Leave your ideas in the comments below. I'm curious to what other people think. Bye!